and welcome back. In today's video we are going to be making some sweet pickle relish. It is in this ball blue book. Very good recipes in here. And it is on page 50, the sweet pickle relish. We're going to try that one out and see how we like it. So we are going to chop up our vegetables, green pepper, and 1 cup of red pepper. I've got my little chopper here. It's made by Mueller. So it comes with different attachments. There's the big cubing size, and then there's a smaller, let's say it's more like a minced or diced. So we are going to use the big square one. Put that in there. Just use that. And I've got some orange and I've got yellow peppers. I think I'm going to use those. It'll just give it a nice colorful look. So we're going to put red, orange, green, and yellow. It's going to be very colorful. Alright, so then we're just going to measure out 2 cups here. Alright, so 2 cups of onion. Alright, so we've got the onions all done. Now we will go on to the cucumbers. We need 1 quart. So since I'm boiling it, only 2 quarts. Slice it to the thickness we want, because remember, chopper only cuts in one direction. So there's 1 quart. So I planted Market More and straight 8 cucumbers this year. Alright, so I got my that's a bowl. I don't know what I'd do without my that's a bowl. I'm just going to mix that up. Look at those beautiful colors. It's just amazing. Dissolve this 1/4 cup of salt in some cold water. I'm just going to dissolve that in there. We're just going to cover it. Alright, so it's just going to sit in this cold salt water for 2 hours. Alright, it has been over 2 hours and we are going to drain the vegetables. So we need to drain these really well, get all that salt water off of them. And I'm just using cold water. Alright, so now we are going to make the brine. 2 cups of apple cider vinegar. Just make sure it's 5% acidity. Alright, and we're doubling the batch so that I've got 4 cups of apple cider. Calls for 3.5 cups of sugar. I'm going to put a little less in because I don't need it that sweet. 1 tablespoon celery seed and 1 tablespoon of mustard seed. I'm doubling it. So I'm just going to 2 tablespoons mustard seed. 2 tablespoons celery seed. Okay. So we're just going to bring this to a boil. Alright, so it is boiling. Mix it all together, get all those spices all over all the vegetables. Alright, so this has been boiling for 10 minutes. Now we can put it in the jars. They have been cleaned and sterilized. Get all that mixed up goodness all in there. And I'm just going to put it into each jar. It's a 1/4 inch headspace. And my water bath canner only fits 7 jars, so I can only do 7 at a time. Wipe each one off. So you need to make sure that the rim is nice and clean so that you get a nice seal on it. Washcloth or a lot of canners use vinegar. These jars are hot, so be very careful when you're doing this. So yeah, it's definitely within 1/4 inch of the top. One of our lids. Lid's on, and you want to only finger tight. So once the jar starts spinning, it's tight enough. You know the kitty is not hungry because the kitty is eating right now and likes to sit on the button. And you can see that the water is boiling in our water canner. So we're going to take our handy dandy jar thing because it's way too hot to hold. And you want to go opposite each other so it doesn't get lopsided and fall in. We'll lower it down into the water. And you need to make sure there's at least 1 inch. And this top one's 1 inch, so we're over 1 inch. And once it starts boiling, then we will set the timer. Alright, so you can see it's boiling. So now we're going to set the timer, 10 minutes. And when it's done, we'll come back. Alright, so it's been 10 minutes. So now we can turn this off. And here is where you would find out if you didn't get all the bubbles out of it. Well, if there's bubbles in it, they would have cracked. Set them on a rack, away, where it's just fine. Alright, so now these are going to sit here and cool off. And when you hear the ping, there it is. So we've had 2 so far. So there's another ping. So once we get all 6 of them, we know they are sealed. And we'll let them cool off. And we will come back. There's another ping. They're sealing up fast. We will come back once they're cooled off. And we'll do the last step before we put them into the pantry. So these have all popped. Take the rings off. Give them a little test. Make sure that they seal good. I'd say most of the time they seal good. It's very rare if it doesn't, if you do it the correct way, but it's always good to check. You just never know. I can either store them with the rings on or the rings off. I usually just keep the rings on unless it's a really acidic food. Tomatoes make them rust fast. This one is the sweet pickle relish. There we go. Nice sweet pickle relish.